Okay guys, so the purpose of this quick video is just to give you a demonstration of a really simple spinal mobility routine that you can implement at the start of your training sessions. Unlike the hip mobility routine that I covered, or perhaps even the ankle mobility routine that I covered, the spinal mobility routine is one that the most amount of benefit from this really is psychological. Most people have a significant amount more mobility in their spine than they perhaps give themselves credit for. It's just most people don't really understand how to curve themselves into position and lock their back in certain positions when setting up for a deadlift, or perhaps creating a bigger arch in their back when they're setting up correctly for a bench press. So this routine is a really good one to, one, get yourself into the zone for your session, but also acts as a really good sort of mental cue or even practical demonstration for yourself for how to manipulate your position to, as I said, get into a stronger position for bench press and deadlift and the likes of that sort of stuff. So the first thing that I'd recommend starting with is getting yourself a foam roller, placing on a mat underneath you, and you're going to lie on it. So I like to start and section off my back. So I'll have the foam roller under my lower back here, and I'll just kind of roll myself over it, relaxing more and more as I go. But this one is very uncomfortable when you first do it. You're going to hold here for a second. Make sure you're taking some deep breaths because it's not the most comfortable. And then from there, we're going to roll out your lower back. And then next, you're going to have the foam roller under your sort of mid to upper back, pushing your chest up, extend your arms over your head, and try and relax into this position. Now from here, what I'm trying to feel is I'm trying to create a big chest, a big arch in my sort of mid to upper back, pushing my chest up, taking deep breaths, and then do the same. We roll off that section. Now this is something you can do for a couple of minutes if you like, just until you feel like you've got the benefit. From there, I want to move into some of our dynamic stretches. Here I'm just going to reach for my toes. This isn't necessarily a stretch for my back, more hamstrings, but it's going to lead me onto the next ones that I'll do. I'm going to walk my hands forward, head between my shoulders, hips nice and high in the air. From here, I can feel a little bit more blood flow to my brain. I can pedal off my calves. Again, this is not necessarily for your back, but it's leading me on to what I'm about to do. From there, I'm going to scoop myself down and push my chest up. Now, what I'm trying to think about here is really curving my back, pushing my hips into the ground, and showing the front wall of my chest would be your mental cues. You're going to hold this until you get that feeling that you're looking for. And then next, we'll get up onto our knees. So from here, I'm trying to create a table-like position, flat back with my hands in line with my shoulders, vertical thighs, and I'm going to try and twist or roll perhaps my hips so that I create a really big arch in my back here, and then create the opposite. Come back up and back down. So I'm going to do about 5 full rotations of these. And then you can come back in position, and I want to repeat those 4 again. And back down. Hold here. About 20 or 30 seconds is fine. Once you've hit that, back into your table-like position, create an arch in your back, push your back out, and back down and create an arch. Okay? Roll through as many of those as you like until you feel like the vertebrae in your spine are really loose and warm. There's a thing called synovial fluid, where there's little capsules in your joints that release this fluid, and it coats your joints and makes you feel more mobile, makes your joints feel more mobile. for your session. So doing stretches like this will absolutely give you that benefit. The last thing I'll probably top it off with, is just getting into position with my legs sprawled underneath me, knees pointing in the same direction, feet pointing in the opposite direction. Grab my hand over my thigh here, keeping my chest really, really tall, and I'm going to twist myself around. Twist myself around. And I'm going to do about 8 of these each side. So once I achieve 8, let's do the other side. And 8 on this side as well. And that's it. So I just wanted to stress that these exercises and these movements really help you feel what it's like to manipulate the shape in which you create in your back. Most people have the ability to move their body in these sort of ways anyway. They just don't know how yet. And it's not necessarily that they're super tight and that mobility is limited, although some people there can be limitations. It's usually just that they need a physical self-demonstration or some kind of mental cueing in order to get into position. But this can really, really help improve your understanding of how to get into position in a deadlift and how to, as I said in the beginning, improve the arch in your back for a bench press. So there's a number of benefits to this, mostly psychological. If you think it might help you, then give it a try. Hopefully this helps. And if you have any questions, just let us know.